The ship's commanding officer sent a laudatory message to Lieutenant Eric Sorenson, Robert's former damage control assistant, who's now teaching in Newport, Rhode Island. In his message, Commander Rinn said, "We saved our ship after hitting a mine, in no small part because of your relentless training and insistence on Samuel B. Roberts' damage control readiness. Your shipmates thank you for giving us the edge in the battle between life and death."
They knew the ship very well. They knew the geography. They knew the major, all of them had the major subdivision bulkheads memorized all the way from the bow to the stern. They knew which spaces were located from the bilge up. They could tell you that the AP U-room was at frame 100, and that they could tell you that the bridge was located directly above that on the O2 level. So they could think in that manner. Of the 5 fire pumps on board, they knew what the primary and alternate sources of power were, which switchboards fed them, so that they can have an idea of if a machinery space was isolated electrically, what would that do to their fire main? The same thing with the AFFF stations. So you'd see the crew running around, and I'd ask them, and all they'd think is 12, 24, 31, 43, 43, and those are the magic numbers to tell them whether they're dealing with which switchboard and whether it was primary or alternate source.
Lieutenant Sorenson rewrote the ship's main space fire doctrine during the pre-commissioning stage, using all the latest damage control updates available through the Naval Sea Systems Command.
It's a tremendous step in evolution over the old way of doing business, and it recognized the fact that we have AFFF now, and that it gave us a lot more latitude in how we went about attacking fires. And we trained with that right from the beginning. The main space fire doctrine was probably the best known document on the ship, and we had it miniaturized, and everybody on board, I think we had something like 300 copies made. Everybody on board carried one in their back pocket until they learned it. We held a couple of all-officer and chief petty officer fire drills. You might end up with an E8 storekeeper as #1 nozzleman, and the CSO, Lieutenant Commander CSO, is the AFFF station operator, just so that everybody had a good idea what was really involved in the steps of putting out a fire. I had an unbelievably enthusiastic crew on Roberts. That was my biggest help. Very green initially, 70% hadn't been to sea before, but incredible enthusiasm and a positive attitude.
For 5 hours, Roberts' damage control crews battled fires, shored ruptured bulkheads, dewatered flooded spaces, and maneuvered the ship out of the minefield on auxiliary power, saving the ship.
Good engineering, good damage control, good leadership, but more importantly, more than anything else in the world, good sailors and good men.